Hello YouTube, this week I've got the keys to a 2018 Kia Sorento SXL V6. Let's take a look. So we have here the 2018 Kia Sorento. Now they are redesigning a little bit the front end and that for the 2019. But this is still, a noteworthy car. We're still going to take a look at this. This is the SXL V6. So this is the top of the line. The Sorento starts around 27,000 Canadian. And this one here is 48,000 plus fees and taxes. And you're looking at like mid-50s for this 7-seater crossover. All-wheel drive, of course. It does have a V6 engine. It is a 3.3 liter V6, and it's got 290 horsepower and 252 foot-pounds of torque. It is a 6-speed automatic transmission, and as I said, a 7-seater as well. So this one's loaded. It's got a ton of stuff in it, a ton of tech in there. It's got an automatic tailgate, and actually, you don't even need to press it. If it's locked and you walk up to it and you stand there for a couple seconds, the back will open automatically, and that was very useful when I was doing some shopping. You can see back here, there's quite a bit of space if you have these back seats down. Now, if they're up, of course, there isn't very much space. You've got a little bit of a toolbox here with your tools, and then you've got another spot for some more knickknacks or whatever you want to carry around. And you've got these to release the back seats as well for the second row, and you've got a 12-volt back here. So there's quite a bit back here, and you've got your heating and rear AC even for the third row. Now it does come with a cargo cover, and it is one of the most finicky car covers I've ever used. So there you go. Throw that on there. Now, to put this seat up, though, of course, you're going to have to pull that out. So, try to get this out of here. It's not too bad to get out. So, you see, I was able to do it pretty quickly. But it doesn't fit here. So, you gotta leave it at home. Pull these levers, and the seats come up. And so, that's really easy to pull these back up. But now you're kind of stuck with this guy. I really honestly don't know what you're supposed to do with it. So yeah, it's maybe if I squish it, it'll kind of fit. Yeah, it kind of fits. You can kind of get it in there. I think the door will close. Let's try it. So let's see if the door will close. All right, it fits. Perfect. You lose a lot of cargo space with that, though. So we'll go on the side here, and you'll see. So the second row here. Nice leather seats, armrests with some cup holders in it, panoramic sunroof up there. Now these seats here, they also move fore and aft so that you can get in and out, and that you give a little bit more leg room. Otherwise you have zero leg room. So you move that forward. So we'll move it forward, and then you pull this handle, which will tilt it a bit, and then you can kind of climb in here and pull these back. Now, it's not very convenient if you're by yourself, that's for sure. I can't even grab that. So what I'm going to do is just sit on this side where this one is all the way back. And it's surprisingly, for short trips, this isn't that bad. I mean, I fit. So if you move it forward, and it goes forward, as you can see, quite a bit here. There's quite a bit of room here. The seat's very low, so your knees are very high. And then this row is now tight because of that. But you can kind of get a compromise out of it. It's not too bad. From back here, you've got, you're in your third row. You've got a cup holder. And you've got this heating vents. And as I said, on this side, you've got the controls so you can turn it on and off as well. You got a nice view of that panoramic sunroof. And you do have little windows, so you're not completely claustrophobic back here. Let's move into that second row. So if you're in the second row, this is the second row all the way back. So you've got, a good amount of leg room. Now if I move this all the way forward, I don't even think I can get it to lock for it. That's it. So then you're jammed up, right? So it's a compromise. Now this seat is back a little bit further than it should be because whenever it's got an easy access, what it's called. So whenever you get out and shut the car off, the seat goes back and then it goes forward again. You can turn that off in the menus. I'll show you that. You probably want to turn that off if you have people sitting back here. So all the way back's not bad. All the way forward it is small. This vehicle doesn't look that big from the outside. It's got a lot of space inside for the size of it on the outside. Down here at the bottom, you've got a couple of USB. You've got one USB, sorry, and a 12 volt, as well as an AC outlet, which is nice to have. The finish here is really nice. This is really, really high end. You've got leather. You've got like a trim here with some aluminum around it. Matches this here. You've got sunshades in the back as well. So that's really nice. The handles here, you know, everything's kind of nicely trimmed out. Everything matches. And you've got heated seats, two position heated seats for the outboard seats in the second row. You know, you've got a lot of stuff here, but you know, you're paying for it. You're, like I said, you're 50 grand, so you are paying for it. And then you've got this nice view up front, lots of light coming in from the sunroof, and you've got this view here of the dash. So we'll take a look at that in a second, but it is easier to get this in from back here. You've got your camera view here, parking sensors, and a drive mode and a four-wheel drive lock, as well as your parking brake. So just trying to show that from the back because it's a little bit easier to get the camera in here. And then you've got an armrest here, and we'll do that from the front. And then down at the bottom here, you've got your heated seats and cooled seats as well as the heated steering wheel for both sides. So let's hop up front and take a closer look. All right, so as I mentioned, this is fully loaded. So you do get a ton of features. You've got blind spot monitoring, you've got radar cruise control, you've got emergency braking, backup cameras, cross traffic alert, satellite radio, heated seats, heated steering wheel, cooled seats. It's got pretty much every kind of tech that's out there these days. I don't believe it has automatic high beams. I didn't notice that feature. It does have automatic headlights, though, and automatic wiper blades. So in here, you've got navigation. It's got, of course, phone, Bluetooth, that Sirius XM radio. It's got automatic dual zone climate control. And as you saw in the back, you've also got you've got the ability to turn off the vents in that back there as well. I'm going to start her up. Start button comes to life pretty quick. So center dash here, very, very nice. Large speedometer display as well as a digital speedometer display available to you. Tachometer on the left, fuel gauge on the right. Very nice to see gauges. On the steering wheel here, you've got this dial and these page buttons, which will go through the menus. So you don't have to have the digital speedometer. We'll flip through that. You can flip through and you can see your trip. You know, the 2 trips. Your fuel economy is in here as well. I've been averaging 10.1. So there's a few things in there. Then you hit the page button, and it goes through. There's a compass, and then you've got some system stuff and the radio. And you can also go through. So here's your menus, and there's a bunch of features in here. Like if you go to other features, and you can turn off, you know, fuel economy settings, change the units, and where was that? Seat and steering wheel. So seat and steering wheel, you can turn off the easy access. There's actually different modes. There's none, normal, and extended. So the guy that before me had this vehicle, he's a little bit taller. He had it on extended, and I could barely reach the pedal when I got in here. So it does go back pretty far. And, you know, lights and that. You got a bunch of stuff in there you can play with. So there's that. That works really well as well. You've got your cruise control on here, which is radar cruise, and if you turn that on and then you hold this button down, it will beep and say cruise control. So now you don't use radar cruise, you're just using regular cruise, so you can turn that off if you want to. Volume knob, really like that. Just the dial here. Instead of having to push buttons, you just roll your thumb on it. I really do like that. Bluetooth and as well as navigation controls, audio for that, and then your Bluetooth, your telephone answering and on there as well. This system here, it is kind of basic. I haven't really used it much, to be honest. I've been just kind of listening to the radio, and I did use the navigation a couple times. It worked well. It's not one of the best systems in the world. It's kind of like the older Hyundai system, but it does work. It does work okay. So let's go over this backup camera they've got here. So it's pretty nice. It does have the lines that move, and then the red and the yellow and blue, and shows you where you're going. If you hit view, let's put it in drive after we've backed up. You can see here you get a 360 view of the vehicle. Here's the parking lot lines I've got here to show you. And you can also switch the cameras, so you've got a front view and you've got a front and right side view. You can see the right hand side of the vehicle here and the left hand side of the vehicle here. And then you've got that 360 view. And you can turn that off, so if you leave that on whenever you park, it'll show you that. And you can go in the settings and you can turn on, so you can keep those guidance lines, front view mode, all views, front only. You can pick what you want on there as well. And let's see, down here, as I mentioned, you got cooled seats, 3-position cooled seats, and you've got 3-position heated seats, and you got steering wheel, heated steering wheel. I'll move this out of the way. This here, you've got a bin, and in there you've got a couple of 12-volt power outlets, a USB and auxiliary, as well as a place to kind of put your phone. There's no QI charger, which is funny because if you look up on their website, the Sorento is listed as one with the QI charger, but this model does not have the QI charger on it, and my phone doesn't fit in that hole, so there you go. A couple cup holders, nice armrest, and it's got, you know, a bin in there as well, and another USB so you can charge your phone, and it's fairly good size, so you can put some stuff in there and not have to worry about it. It's got an Infinity stereo system, which is pretty good. The 2019 apparently is going to have a Harman Kardon. It's supposed to be a little bit better. This is all kind of leather. Well, this is not real leather. This is, I don't think anyways, it looks like, it feels kind of like fake leather. And this is kind of rubbery. But, you know, it's not like the Rio I had a few weeks ago, which was all hard plastics. This is kind of soft plastics, and it does look really, really nice. You know, you're kind of getting what you pay for here. Tons of features with this one. 50 grand isn't inexpensive, and so it depends what you appreciate. Do you appreciate features, or do you appreciate you know, a luxury brand with a luxury logo on it? I'm not going to say do you appreciate good driving, because this thing, we'll take it for a drive in a minute. So the one thing you'll notice with this Sorento with the V6 is it is quick. So you'll get in it, you'll mash the throttle, and you will be impressed by how quick it accelerates. Passing people on 2-lane roads, no problem. Merging onto the highway and, you know, nobody's letting you in, no problem. I actually had to use the power in this a few times this week, and then I became, you become kind of used to it and say, hey, no problem, I can make that, and you pretty much can with this. Flops. It actually does turn on with the slide now. They just left the light up there instead of putting it on the mirror. So let's take this for a drive and kind of explain how it goes. So it also has a couple of modes. There's a normal mode, which I pretty much drove it in all week. Very happy with that. There's an eco mode, which will make the throttle response and the shifting, throttle response less and the shifting happen quicker. So it'll make it a little bit slower. And then you've got sport mode, which enables quicker shifting and better throttle response. So I put it in sport mode now, I'll hit the gas, and you'll see it just, I mean, it just rockets away. Like we were going 80, now we're going 110. It just doesn't take long at all. So if you want something sporty, this is definitely one vehicle you can kind of do a checkbox on. So there's a couple of bings that just happened. Telling me it's 4 degrees Celsius. I will say that is very annoying. It does that constantly. So every day under 4 degrees Celsius, it beeps at you, and it beeps like you drive away. I pull out of my garage, which is a little bit warmer, and then I start driving, and then it beeps, and I wonder, whoa, what's going on? It's beeping at me, and then I realize it's just temperature thing. So that's kind of annoying. Besides that, you know, I always find something annoying and bothersome in a vehicle, and besides that little beeping, this vehicle has not really annoyed me. And it's kind of fun to drive. It's got lots of power. It's quiet on the highway. It's comfortable. The quality, the build quality seems there. There's no rattles and squeaks and stuff going on in this thing. Driving on, this is a rough road that I take cars on all the time. Driving on here, there's a little bit of road noise. Again, this vehicle is equipped with winter tires, which, you know, they're always a little bit louder than the all seasons or summer tires that the cars come with. And this vehicle is still pretty quiet. It soaks up the bumps really well, so it's kind of a sporty ride. It's not super soft, but it doesn't transmit those bumps into the cabin or into your seat. It's not harsh. It's not clunky like the Rio. You know, I don't want to bang on that Rio that I drove and I wasn't really impressed with. But you know, if Kia's looking at my reviews, yes, I was not all that impressed with the Kia Rio, but I am very impressed with this vehicle, with the Sorento. It is definitely upscale and definitely well put together, and it doesn't feel cheap like the Rio did. So there you have it, 2018 Kia Sorento. Please do subscribe to my channel, and I do thank you for watching. This car is about 50 grand Canadian, but it is leather and tons of features, and you know, a really nice vehicle, especially when you consider where Kia came from just a few years ago. You know, not very desirable, and now Kia is really showing that they can make a nice vehicle.